And yes, I'm drinking my coffee out of my USS Kidd, Kidd, coffee mug, and I got this in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If you guys go over to Baton Rouge, if you ever find yourself in the Baton Rouge area, I highly suggest that you take a moment and go to the Military Museum and the USS Kidd Museum. Support them, because without your support, they're eventually going to go away. All right, to all of you out there in the world, in the United States, who are not in the South, I'm going to tell you this: the people in southeast Louisiana could use your help. Right now, the floodwaters are still there. They're starting to go down, and they're starting the recovery process. Now, as many of you know, a lot of our good friends are over there in the Baton Rouge area, and the folks at Ackless Defense, A-K-L-Y-S Defense, the guys who make suppressors and adapters and 50 caliber rifles and Mark 19s. And what I'm wearing today, I'm wearing my machine gun smile. That's Mr. Happy Smiley shooting a Mark 19. If you want to help, you say, well, I don't know what to do. Should I give money to the Red Cross or, whomever? I tell you what you can do. If you want to help the guys, they got water. They actually got flooded at the Ackless Defense shop, which is just mind-boggling to me, because I've been to the shop, and having stood in the parking lot, I could not imagine that water would ever get that high that it would get into that building, but it did. Many of them had, the vast majority of the people who work there got water in their houses. Dennis and his family had to be evacuated with a boat because the water was over the tops of the cars. It's crazy. So, if you want to do something, just a little small thing, go to acklessdefense.com and buy a t-shirt or buy a muzzle brake or buy a 40 millimeter shot glass or what have you. I checked their website before we went live, and it is up, and fortunately the website's not underwater, so there's that. So that is my my call to action today. If you guys want to support them, if you want to do something, go to acklessdefense.com, and it would really help those guys out, because they're going to be in the recovery process for a while now. All right, are we ready to go ahead and jump into it, Jerry?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, while he's erasing the correct way, if you are watching this on patriotfireteam.com, which I'm doing right now, so I know it's working, then you can scroll up to the top of the website and you can click the button that says Get Live Notifications, and we will notify you when we go live. If you are not watching this on patriotfireteam.com, then go over to patriotfireteam.com and click that button, and all you need to do is enter your email address, no name or anything.
Okay, admin notes. Good morning, welcome to Student of the Gun University. I am your host, Professor Paul Markle. Thank you for joining us today. Now, yesterday we talked about carrying the load, carrying the burden. In the United States of America, a lot of men and women are very frustrated. They look out across the nation and they see a lot of bad news. They see corruption, they see crime, they see violence, they see death cult missionaries coming into our country, murdering our people. The thug element is running wild in all our major metropolitan areas and just has any reason to riot. They're out of Diet Coke at the Quickie Mart. Let's riot and burn the place down. That is real. That's not fear-mongering. That's actually what's happening in the United States right now. And you're frustrated. So what did we say yesterday? Part of that frustration, or a way to channel that frustration, find, what did we call them? Like-minded individuals, LMIs. And this will help you so as you don't have to carry the burden yourself. Because you feel like that. It's sometimes, I know I have, I'm sure Jared has, you feel like you're shouldering this burden all by yourself. Nobody else gives a crap but you, and you're like, and so you might think, why should I even give a crap? So let's say you found 3-4 like-minded individuals. You sat down, you had coffee or beer or cigars or whatever, and you said, you know what? We need to work together. We're going to pledge our allegiance to each other. We're going to help and support each other. Okay, great. What's the next step? Now, I'm assuming that the vast majority of you out there are gun owners, but you're not necessarily soldiers, special forces, Marines, or what have you. You're people, you're citizens. You you were an accountant, a plumber, a carpenter, you work at a shop, whatever. But your main job is not a military job. It's not a martial job. So you say to yourself, well, what if we were in Milwaukee, Baltimore, Ferguson, LA, Chicago, whatever. What if we're in one of these areas, or Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, back down here in the Biloxi area on the Gulf Coast after a storm. And the four of us need to get together, and we need to protect our families, we need to protect our community, we need to make sure that the looters and robbers and so forth don't come in and take all of our stuff, abuse us and so forth. How do we do that? You say, well, we have guns. Okay, great. You own a gun. Check. Good job. But how do you work as a team? What is your baseline? And that's where you need to sit down and say, what is our goal? And well, I don't know. Ask yourself, what is the goal of your team? What is the goal of your Patriot Fire Team? Is the goal to secure, let's say you live in a cul-de-sac community in the suburbs or what have you. Your goal is to secure and protect your community, your neighbors, your neighborhood. All right, great. Have you ever done that? Have you ever worked with another person, or is your firearms training you going to the range, shooting a target, bang, bang, bang? Okay, that's marksmanship, and that's great. I'm glad that you have marksmanship, but that isn't team training. And you need to ask yourself, all right, if that's our goal to secure and protect, how many of us have training? How many people in your team have been to an actual, no kidding, training school? You say, well, I did, but the other three didn't. Or two did and two didn't. So what I would suggest to you is that you establish, at very minimum, a baseline training. Why does everyone in the U.S. Army, U.S. Marine Corps, Navy, so forth, why do military people go to boot camp? You say, well, to become soldiers and fighters and riflemen and so forth. And they're like, yeah, but not everybody who is a Marine is in the infantry, right? Not everybody who is in the Army is an infantry soldier or a tanker or what have you. Some people do administrative jobs. Some people go and they work on airplanes, they work on trucks, they do supply, they cook, what have you. So why do those guys all have to go to the same boot camp? Because that is baseline. So no matter what your job is in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, whatever, no matter what your job is, if you're an airplane mechanic, at very least what they know is every airplane mechanic, every cook, every supply clerk, every infantry soldier has a baseline training. They all have a solid foundation. And that's what I'm going to challenge you guys to do out there. If you have a four-man team, examine, say, where have we been and what have we done? Okay. Everyone's going to they're going to come to the table with different experiences. And I want you to challenge yourself to make sure that everybody has a minimum baseline training. And you say, well, where should we get this training? I don't know. Where are you on planet Earth right now? Are you West Coast, East Coast, North, South? Are you willing to travel? If you're not willing to travel to get professional training, I'm going to go ahead and say this. You're not really serious. If you're writing letters to Gunsight, Tactical Response, TDI, whatever I'm saying, I really want to take your training. If you'll come to Smithville, Minnesota and do a class here, I'll take your class. But if it's, if I have to go 4 or 5, 10 hours away, I'm not going to do it. That's bullcrap. That's laziness, and you're not serious about it. That's like saying to Harvard University, I'd really like to attend Harvard, but I'm not going to do it unless you open a branch in, Provo, Utah or whatever. So my point is this. What I would say, baseline, it's kind of a squiggly Y there, but I would say baseline training, a minimum of a 2-day, 8 hours a day, intensive handgun training class or rifle training class. Start there. Now maybe you're lucky and you're like, dude, everybody in my team has been to Tactical Response or TDI, or we've all taken classes with John Farnham or whatever. So we're good. All right, good. Check that block. Move on. get medical training, so on and so forth. Get team training. But today's lesson is this: figure out what your goal is. You say, well, our goal is to make sure that we can keep our family safe, our community safe, and we can work together. Okay, great. Now, in order to achieve that goal, we all need to have some type of fundamental baseline training. And are we going to get that? Where are we going to get that? So today's lesson, get some baseline training, a minimum of 2 days. Now, Jared, you just put together a list yesterday of schools that we recommend.
Yes.
Schools and or trainers that we recommend. Because,
well, you put it together.
Well, I did. But
yeah.
we sat down and
yeah.
we put together a list of all the places that I personally recommend because I have trained with these men and at these schools. And we're going to make that available to everybody.
We can do it right now. Let me pull it up. I'm pretty sure that you sent a reply in this box right here, so let me go look.
All right, so baseline training. Oh, before I forget, before we move one step farther, yesterday, after we finished the live broadcast, Jared on patriotfireteam.com made a free download available to you. Basically it's chapter 3 of the original book, and it's how to get started, how to get everybody together. It's a free report. You can go to patriotfireteam.com, and right underneath video number 1, just click the orange button and bam, you can download it. It costs you nothing. All
right. I'm going to post this in the comments on both the YouTube and on Facebook, but I'll go ahead and read it out loud. These are the schools that Dad said that the instructors and schools that he trusts. Masad Ayub. So get a pen and paper, write this stuff down.
Or read.
Yeah, or read. Masad Ayub, John Farnham, Ken Hackathorn, Handgun Combatives with Dave Spalding, Tactical Response with James Yeager, Gunsight, CSAT Mobile Training Team, CSAT MTT, Shane Iverson, E.J. Owens of Legally Concealed, TDI Ohio, Thunder Ranch, and Clint Smith, the SIG Academy if you're a Northeastern slave, and ITTS if you're a California slave.
There you go. Uncle Scotty. Scotty Reeds at ITTS is a solid guy. He's a good guy.
And I dropped them into the Facebook, and YouTube will be coming along soon.
Now, the next thing we're going to address is gear confusion. You're like, gear confusion? Yeah. Or what some people have called the box of regret. Someone here recently wrote me a nice letter, and they said that they had the box of regret. And what is the box of regret? The box of regret is a tub or container that contains all the stuff that you thought that you really absolutely had to have because you saw it in a magazine or you read an article or you watched a YouTube video or whatever, and then you got it and you realize this isn't going to work for me, or it's cheap, or it broke, or it doesn't fit, or what have you, and you throw it in a bin. Because you don't want to throw it away, right? Nobody wants to throw away gear that they bought because that was an investment, and if you throw it away, it's kind of like an admission that you messed up. So we don't actually throw it away. We throw it into that Rubbermaid tub, and so we all have that tub of holsters. Every cop, every career cop that I know at least, has the tub of holsters. I have holsters for guns I don't even own anymore. But gear confusion, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central Daylight Time right here at Student of the Gun University. Now, before I let you go, I'm going to go to the bottom of my notes here so that I make sure that I do this. And according to my notes here, after video number 2, we're going to have we're promoting the 5 Strategies book, the Complete Armed Citizen series, and the Armed Living video course. And Jared, where can they go? They go to studentofthegun.com, right?
Yes, studentofthegun.com. I still left it up on the homepage for you guys. That's not going to be up much longer, so I would do that now.
Okay. Like he said, right now if you go to studentofthegun.com, you're like, oh, I have so much stuff to do. Pace yourself. It's okay. That's why we do these things on demand, and then they're continuously there. But if you go to studentofthegun.com, you can get the 5 strategies that could save your life, written by a professional bodyguard, somebody that I know very closely, and it could help establish a baseline for securing your home and your family and yourself when you're on the road, and so on and so forth. So go to studentofthegun.com right now, and you can get the book for shipping and handling and a bunch of free reports. It's free information. You really have no excuse. There's a ton of information that we're making available to you basically for nothing. So you're welcome.
Now, while he's talking, or are you done with that thought?
I'm done.
I want to
speaking.
open it up for Q&A. You got 2 minutes to ask the first question, and the whole Q&A session is going to go 5 minutes. So go if you want to ask a question. I got a monitor.
Is there anything on the back of the shirt? I can't remember.
Nope.
No, it's just on
Just
the
the
sleeve.
shirt, yeah.
Got the flag on the sleeve there.
Anything on the other sleeve?
No, and the Mr. Happy shooting a Mark 19.
What are some good qualities to look for in a good instructor?
In a good instructor?
Yeah.
Okay. A good instructor is going to be somebody who probably has carried a gun for a living at some point in time. A good instructor is somebody who has taken their thoughts and words and written them into a book format so that you can easily read them. A good instructor is somebody that is constantly training themselves. Some of the best instructors that I know are the most dedicated students. I personally know a couple of people who are, and I'm not going to speak for them, but devote their own time and their own money to going to other people's classes to continuously train, even though they have their own schools. As they, there are lots of ways to do things, to do what we do. And some of the things that I learned to do 30 years ago, like the mantras and the kata and all the stuff that, and these little martial arts linkity for you, things that I learned 30 years ago, it wasn't that it was wrong 30 years ago, but we've evolved and we've moved on. We don't do brain surgery today the way it was done in 1985. I hope not. They don't do heart surgery today the way it was done in 1982. They were doing heart surgery in 82, weren't they? Well, yeah. Why don't they do it the same way then as now? Because we've evolved. We've learned we can do things better and more efficiently. And that's really I guess the biggest challenge for an instructor is to learn how to teach and then evolve their teaching, not just change for the sake of change, but change for the sake of practicality and reality. That was a long question.
How do I find more about your schools? We're sold out. Our classes are sold out until at least the springtime. So just go to studentofthegun.com. Actually, go to patriotfireteam.com and click the live notifications link, and you'll get it from there.
The good news is that you can get some education right from wherever you're currently sitting or standing at the moment.
You can check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/studentoftheguntv, and we've got a bunch of educational videos on there.
Are you watching the TV show?
Yeah.
Because Student of the Gun TV is jam-packed with education, instruction, and information. And you can do that on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and coming soon on demand, right? Soon.
Nathan Teague says, is that the CSAT in Nacogdoches? No, where is he in Dallas?
CSAT MTT is headquartered in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And actually, if you go to csatmtt.com, they have a list of their road courses. Actually, they're going to be coming down to Biloxi.
They're an extension.
The Gulf Coast.
They're
MTT stands for Mobile Training Team, which means they do stuff there in Dallas, and then they're also going to be doing lots of road classes too. So they may be coming to a city near you.
When are you doing another giveaway? Ryan hasn't won anything in a few weeks. He's barred until December 1st.
Who said that? Who's speaking for Ryan?
John.
Huh?
I think his name's John.
Oh, okay.
His username
It wasn't Ryan, was it?
No, it wasn't
okay.
Ryan. Let's see.
Ryan could no longer win anything in 2016.
Yeah, good light-bearing holsters for concealed carry, particularly for Glock 19.
That's gear stuff. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, that's would love a tutorial on setting up a plate carrier. That's also gear stuff. Resources for finding other MLIs in my area.
LMIs?
Yeah, sorry.
LMIs? Actually, what we did is...
LA, California. Yep, sorry.
No, I'm pretty sure that the free download from yesterday, if you go, that gives you advice on finding like-minded individuals.
Okay, for those of you that didn't hear, go to patriotfireteam.com. Underneath video number 1 is a button. The button says, claim your free download or claim your
free
freebie,
report.
something like that. Go get that, and in that download, it's chapter number 3 from the original Patriot Fire Team book. So
there you go, free chapter. Waking up your friends and neighbors.
thanks for the detailed answer. Thank you again. I think that's all the questions. Let's
That's
see.
it?
Empty your pockets, EDC spot check.
No,
No.
I don't play that game.
Yeah.
If you want to find out what weapons I have on me, attack me.
All right, Q&A is over.
All right, kids. Tomorrow morning, 11 Central Daylight Time. And don't forget to go to patriotfireteam.com. And if you want the 5 strategies book, go to Student of the Gun. Thank you.